For a little over 2.5 weeks in May, the Indianapolis Public Library has had the pleasure of hosting a staff member from the Cologne, Germany Public Library as part of the Sister City Exchange Program between the two cities. We welcome Cordula Noetzelmann as our guest.
Hi.
Cordula's visit to Indianapolis completes an exchange that began actually last fall when Nicole James from the Indianapolis Public Library visited Cologne for 2 weeks. Cordula, it's great to have you here.
Thank you.
It's been a real pleasure to host you during this
Thank
time. You've been busy touring libraries, meeting with staff, and seeing the sights of Indianapolis. What's been your impression of Indianapolis during the last 2 weeks?
Wow, that's my first impression. I saw so many sites. I saw the downtown area, which is very impressive for a European, especially in Cologne, where no building must be higher than the Cologne Cathedral for historical reasons. So I enjoyed the skyscrapers and the whole atmosphere very, very much. But as a whole, I would say that Indianapolis has such a vibrant and creative atmosphere. I enjoyed the First Friday program, which took place when I arrived here the first weekend, and we saw all the open galleries and all the young people and the artists walking around and celebrating their creativity, and was great fun.
It's a very vibrant arts community here in Indianapolis.
And very similar to Cologne, all the people who live here are very welcoming, heart-warm felt, inviting, friendly people. That's what I enjoyed very much.
Well, let's talk about the Cologne, Germany Public Library and begin by just having you explain what your position is at the library, what's your title, and what do you do?
Okay. I've been working at the Public Library of Cologne since 2007, and I'm the chief librarian for the branch libraries. That is, I'm in charge of all our branch libraries and the bookmobile.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, we have 23 locations here in Indianapolis. How does that compare with what you have in Cologne?
We used to have 27 branch libraries in Cologne many, many years ago. Today there are 11 branch libraries left. Yes.
Why is that? Why the reduction?
Yeah, in the course of the years there were several waves of household issues in Cologne, and bit by bit they reduced the number. But that's quite common in Germany, by the way. Yeah.
Do you have a central library, as we do here in Indianapolis?
Yes, exactly. We do have a very large and beautiful central library, seated in the heart of Cologne, very easily accessible via tram, bus, bike, whatever you would like, walking, by car. Around this mother library, there are the other branch libraries.
Well, we're sitting
Like
in
a
the mother
belt.
library here of Indianapolis in Central Library. Now, here in Indianapolis, the Indianapolis Public Library is considered a municipal corporation, quasi-unit of local government. How is the Cologne Public Library related to the government in Germany?
We are a city agency, that is. We are funded by the city of Cologne and are embedded in the infrastructure and the administration of the whole city.
Okay.
Yes. This has several implications on the funding structure or the way we work. In contrast to Indianapolis, for example, we don't own the land and the buildings our institutions are in. We rent them from the city of Cologne. Yeah.
So you are a subscription library as well. People pay, what, $50 a year to be able to use the library?
Yes. It's a common thing in Germany that library services are free for children up to 18.
Okay.
And as soon as you're a grown-up and adult, working adult, you have to pay for your library card.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about differences between the two libraries, Cologne and Indianapolis? What have you noticed Indianapolis doing that you don't do, or vice versa? What is the main observation that you've had since you've been here in Indianapolis?
There are, I must say that the differences aren't so many. We have identified a lot more common or a universal experience. But if you ask me to identify a difference, I would say we have differences in the way we organize staff. I learned from you that you have activity guides.
Right.
people working in the library who don't necessarily have to be librarians to do so and to help the customers or the patrons in their daily visit of the library. The difference is we employ librarians or people who have a qualification in the library field. And they have to get the qualification an activity guides has, for example, in art history or museums specialties we have to acquire afterwards.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, now part of the purpose for the Sister City Exchange Program is for the libraries to exchange best practices and share what works, what doesn't work. What will you take back to Cologne that you hope to maybe implement at the Cologne Library?
Yeah, lots of things.
Lots of things, huh?
I was absolutely thrilled about the number of publicly accessible computers for the patrons. As I observed, even the smallest library branch had at least 10 to 15 internet and office PCs. And there was a software administrating the access to it all, which makes it very comfortable for everybody involved in this process, in this service. This is something I'll take back home.
Because each branch in Cologne
Yeah,
has very few computers,
Yes.
correct?
There are infrastructural reasons for this, and I hope to work on that in the future.
Okay.
Yeah, there are technical reasons. The one reason is that the buildings we rent don't belong to us. We can't just implement more infrastructure as we wish to do so. We have to ask our landlord and the city as well, and it takes a little longer then, you know.
Well, it's been a lot of fun having you
Thank
here in
you.
Indianapolis. You've got to see the Indianapolis Motor Speedway during the month of May.
Yes. Oh,
Maybe
yes.
you've become somewhat of a Pacers fan too,
Yeah.
who knows? But we hope your memories are great, and,
Yes, they are.
and we've certainly enjoyed having you with us today. You've also been busy keeping a blog, and we want to encourage people, especially if they can read German, they can read your blog of your daily activities from the library's website at indypl.org. So you'll be taking back just a whole lot of great memories and
I will,
things
sure.
that you've documented too. So
Yeah, thank you very much for
thank
everything.
you. Cordula Noetzelmann from the Cologne Public Library in Cologne, Germany.